What's going on, guys? This is episode number 1 of the Everyday Drink. Now, what are we going to be doing in the first episode of Everyday Drinker? You guessed it, we're going to be discussing 2 different bourbons, but they're both from the same distillery. We're going to be discussing Woodford Reserve versus Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Let's get into it. What is Woodford Reserve? Well, Woodford Reserve Distillery first started making this bourbon back in the year 1812. The bourbon has hundreds and hundreds of tasting notes that us as drinkers need to find. They say that we can find tasting notes such as bold grain notes, fruity notes, floral notes, chocolate notes, caramel notes, toffee notes, you name it, it's most likely going to be inside this bourbon. What makes Woodford Reserve Double Oak? It's made in 2 different barrels. The first barrel is going to be nice and charred. The second one is going to be deeply toasted and then charred to bring out a lot of those oils and tannins in that oak barrel to incorporate into the bourbon. So it starts out just like this, and it goes into a second barrel and it finishes into this bottle. Both have a creamy finish. They're both 90.4 proof, so they both have the same burn, but we're gonna find out what one I prefer and see if you guys have the same opinion as me. We are going to be pouring into the wee little Glencairn glasses. I got these as a gag, and then I'm like, I can have these in the videos because they're so freaking cute. Let's pour a little bit of Woodford Reserve. All right, a little bit of Woodford Reserve. Can't forget which side which is which, so I'm gonna have the Woodford Reserve on this side, and we have the Double Oak on this side. All right off the bat, let's see if we can see a color difference. Oh yeah, so the Double Oak, if you guys can see that, I don't know if you can, is definitely a lot darker. I'd say it's about 3 or 4 shades darker in amber than the original Woodford Reserve. That Double Oak is definitely a darker shade of amber. Let's give the Woodford Reserve a nice little smell. Oh yeah, you can smell the cream in there. Vanillas, toffee. Oh yeah, you put your nostril right on in there, and you get a nice caramel. It's nice and light. You can definitely smell the wood. It's not bold. It's very, very light. Very, very. It's almost like a buttercream, like a cream cheese icing. Oh my gosh, yeah, that smells so nice. Let's move on to the Double Oak. The wood comes out. It smells like a wood shop almost. Like after a nice fine cut off of the bandsaw. Smell a lot of grass too. It's grassy. Subtle vanillas in there. A little bit of lemon actually too. Citrus. Everything is a little more rounded out, but that wood is a lot more bold in the Double Oak. As it should be. Let's give it a little taste on the Woodford Reserve. First taste, you definitely get caramel. Go for a second. Smooth, nice and creamy, not a lot of burn. It's a 45.2% alcohol, so it's not gonna have a lot of burn, but it's super creamy, super rich. Light tannins in there because it's only charred once. A little burn on the back of the throat, but nothing crazy. Yeah, it's smooth. It's so smooth. Little coffee maybe in there, and then I get a little citrus too at the tail end. But then as I'm waiting and sitting here, the vanilla is so pronounced. It's so pronounced. All right, let's move on to the double oak. Oh yeah, a lot more oak in there. Oh yeah, just a lot of oak. Caramel. I'm getting a stronger toffee. Going back into the smell after you taste it, I actually get like a little bit of a chocolate, honestly. Yeah, like it's like one of those pastries with like a little bit of chocolate drizzle on it. That's very good. That's very good. I don't know if you could pick a favorite out of these two. If you're looking for bold, you're gonna go for the double oak for the flavors. If you're looking for something that's a lot more smooth and that you can just sip on, you'd probably go for the original Woodford Reserve. I don't think there's a wrong answer with either one of these two. Let's see what happens when we just down the hatchet. If we get anything different. When it coats your entire mouth, you definitely get a little bit more wood, char, a little bit of must in there. But then right at the tail end, you get that vanilla. You get the caramel. It's almost like a creme brulee when you go to a restaurant, and the char right on the top with the sugar on the top, and then maybe a little bit of extra toffee crumbles on top. Oh man, that's really good. So smooth, goes down so easy. I mean, you could drink this all day long and just enjoy every single sip of it. Down the hatch with the double oak. Yeah, when that coats your entire mouth, you get a lot of oak, you get a lot of char, you get a little bit of smoke in there. Darker, richer flavors. You get a dark, creamy mouthfeel with that. You get a lot more of like a dark brown sugar caramel instead of your regular lighter caramel. That's a darker caramel. A lot of vanilla in there, and then like I said before, chocolate. I'm getting a lot of chocolate in that. I'm gonna go for the original Woodford Reserve is my go-to. But this, if you guys are looking for like something to impress somebody with a lot more flavor, or not like a lot more flavor, but a little bit more on the boldness, definitely the double oak, because it definitely has that. Next week, for episode 2, we're gonna use the same bottles, but we're gonna put it into a cocktail. And you guys are gonna find out what that cocktail is next week, and we're gonna compare these two in a cocktail and see which one we prefer in that said cocktail. But until then, you guys have an awesome week. This has been Nathan with Everyday Drinker. Peace out.